What's good, everybody? What's good? 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 Hope everybody has been having a good day. Hope everyone has been having a good day. Just trying to make sure that I'm on. I'm talking, hoping that I'm on, actually. So, and I see that I am on. I'm just checking on my phone to make sure. Always got to double check. And I would like to say real quick, I went to the dentist today. So, excuse me if if my speech is a little funny. So, I didn't fully set up, so I'm just I was trying not to take too long. So, yeah, just please don't mind me. Sometimes I could be real informal, but that's just me. I don't want the informality to stop me from doing a live. I don't like for things to, well, this and that isn't perfect, so I'm not going to do it. But that's not me. So, Marcus, yo, what up? I don't know if we met, man. Yeah. How you doing? Nice to meet you. I'm just setting up this other camera. Like, this is the camera that is usually on my hands when I switched to that shot. I didn't have it set up because I had my other camera on this tripod, so I had to set it back up. So I appreciate y'all's patience. I appreciate your patience. And if you don't stay throughout the tutorial, maybe you'll check out the replay. Either one is fine. So let me alright. I think I'm good. This other camera, y'all just gonna have to see it. Yo, that's what's up, man. That's what's up. Alright, so I'm not all the way prepared, but y'all will basically see me get prepared in some ways. And what's up, Anthony? Thanks for joining, man. I was saying a little bit earlier, I went to the dentist earlier today, so my mouth is like kind of feeling interesting. Y'all probably can't see it, but take it slow. Jaleesa, what's good? What's good? What's good? All right. So it seemed like a couple of you are interested in this song, huh? Daryl, how are you, man? And the song is actually, it's not even all that, I'll take it slow. I'll just say that. I'll take it slow. But it's relatively, pretty good. Now, I will say this. Because the song was sampled, it sounds like the song I Do Love You, like an old song, was sampled. So they kind of chopped the sample up a little bit. So it's kind of a little like off kilter, just a little bit. So I'll play that part too. So, man, we here. I had a pretty good day, except, the numbness from my my cheek from being at the dentist kind of wearing off. And I can still feel, the punctures from the inside of my mouth being numbed. So anyway, yeah, this I appreciate that, Anthony. And some of these are are requests, and I'll actually do this. And every now and then, Anthony, I do this. I will, to just make sure that I can, let me see. There's my, okay, here's my screen. So you can see the thumbnail I just made. So yeah, I still got it up. So I kind of like checked on it first before I actually pulled it up. But here's the song right here.
Fighting to keep us together, hope it's worth a try. You ain't always been an angel, but heaven's on our side. I got my demons too, I know just how you feel. You can be real with me, that's why you're still with me. Can't hide behind a carrots on the diamond ring.
All right, so you know it's a little vibe for sure, but you can tell that they sampled. You can tell they actually sampled it. Okay, so you know, so there are some little, you know, parts. I'm gonna show the main meat of the part, and you know, the general part, and then the parts that they kind of chopped up. And yeah, I appreciate the congrats, man. I've been trying to get the viewership up, man. I'm just trying to see what people like, to be honest, man. So, but I got a core, you know, and I'm appreciative. I appreciate that. So yeah, in the replay, I'll like edit that part out so there's no like copyright strikes and stuff like that. I'll just edit that part out. But I wanted you all to see what I'm referencing. Okay. So to start off, I am actually going to, just to help me out, this is something that I do, and some of you all know that this is what I do as well. Let me pull this up real quick. Sometimes I need this. You know what I'm saying? I don't even know the actual pattern, but so I just wanted to have a little reference. I'm gonna highlight these real fast. I'm not gonna quantize it too hard, maybe a little loosely. Okay. So yeah, this is just a little beat that I'm making to just help me to just kind of follow as I'm showing it. Let me go up here real quick. All right, that's a little better. All right, anyway, the song is in the key of G. So, yeah, the song is in the key of G. So, for those of you who don't know where the G is, I can show you where that is. All right, I can show you where that is, and I'll do a brief explanation. You see my little Amazon package over there, all in my closet. Anyway, so right here, here's where G is right here. Okay, G on the E string right here. 3rd fret on the E string. And here's the regular way that you can play a G, just a regular major chord shape G. Now the way you play this is you're barring at the 3rd fret. Okay. Ring finger and pinky are actually in the 5th fret on the A and D string, these 2 strings right here. Okay. which is the fourth and fifth string, counting from this way: 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, fourth and fifth. So fifth fret. Okay, middle finger is on the fourth fret of the G string. 1, 2, 3. Everything else is barred right here. The song is in the key of G. All right. Now, I want to briefly explain this part. I want to briefly explain this part because some people have questions about. I wonder why it hurts. I wonder why it hurts. Hey, that's what's up. Thanks for the shout out. Thanks for the shout out. I wonder why it hurts, Jaleesa. I'm wondering because if your guitar is set up right, it wouldn't hurt. It wouldn't hurt that much. It might be a little bit uncomfortable, but if you have to push too much, you probably have to have your strings lowered a little bit. And maybe not. You might have it already set up pretty good. But just a quick eye. Let me show you. Let me show you real quick. Now, you can tell me. But look at my strings. You can see where my strings are. Now, they're not laying on the frets, but they're like a nice, they're not high. Okay? And also, oops. Here's my acoustic. Here's where my strings are on my acoustic. See? So as you can see, that's like a very comfortable height. But also, you don't hear any fret buzz either. Okay, so. All right. So yeah, just keep that in mind. Yeah. Send it to me on TikTok so I can, cause that's the part. That's one important part. Like a good guitar setup is one of the most important things. And some people have guitars that don't even stay in tune. Okay. Cool. Yeah. Just send me a pic, so we'll be on the same page. Now, aside from the string height, of course, yes, you are that hand position. You gotta adapt. You gotta adapt to it. The more you do it, your body will adapt. Every part of your body will adapt to whatever you want it to adapt to, whatever that is. Period. So yeah, make sure that your wrist is in the right position. I mean, I've been doing this for a decent amount of time, so I'm accustomed to doing this. If you're kind of like this, it's going to be hard, but if you turn it, it'll be more comfortable. So, and at first it might be a little uncomfortable, just repetition, and it is important to do it correctly, so that if you practice it incorrectly, that could frustrate you. But send me a picture, even send me a picture of you holding it so I can see how your wrist looks. Like I can see how your arm looks in reference to your guitar neck. It should be somewhere within like the 90-degree arena. Somewhere within that. Okay? So that's the first part. That's the first chord. Okay? Now I'm going to explain this to you, but just keep this in mind. I'm playing this G major. Now on the song, they do this. They do this. Now I'm still playing the G major. Yeah, I'm still playing the G major, but I'm gonna, show you, the little riff that's being played. All right. Why? Because that's what you were doing. Yeah, that's one of the parts. Having a guitar instructor, they help you to reach the goal faster. That's what should happen. So I can look at how you're doing it, and I can say, oh, hold on, come here, and we can get that. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, just make sure it's the right angle. If it's too much tucked in, you may not be ready to do that yet. Over time, you may be able to do that, but to start off, you might want to just keep your elbow a little bit away from your body at first, and then your hands will adapt to the twists and turns. But you don't want to be too far out. Okay, so yo, I understand. I tried to come on a little bit earlier, but my church has a conference, so I just left rehearsal. So I was like, man, it might be a little too late, but I'm trying to keep the Tuesdays consistent, and I'm working out whether I want to keep Thursday or Friday consistent. So I got feedback on Friday being better than Thursday, and as well as Saturday. So, yep. I'll let you later, Daryl. And I appreciate you even sharing, man. You ain't even have to tell me. But yeah, I appreciate you. I will have the replay, but I'm going to clip some parts out because I don't want no copyright strikes. Anyway, so I'm going to show these chords, and then I'm going to kind of go over some other stuff. So there's the G major. Another way you can play G major is in the open position. But this song is playing it in the barred position. And now we're going to go to the 5th fret, and we're going to play a minor shape. Now this is easier than the G major, but so we're going to play the A minor 7th. So it's literally barring at the 5th fret. Okay. And you're going to take this ring finger and you're just going to fret at the 7th fret on the A string. That's the 5th string up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay. That's it. Okay. Now I'm moving my fingers out of the way so that you can see what I'm doing. But otherwise you would see me do this and then people are like, what are you doing? Well, I'm just doing that just so you can see. Because one reason I kind of have my fingers up here too is if I want to mute something. I appreciate that, Anthony, too. Yeah, thank you for that. But the reason I have like fingers up here, and sometimes people are like, it looks like you're not even playing. Well, I have my fingers certain ways so that I can mute the strings if I need to. So I have other fingers available to mute if I need it. So if I needed this pinky to mute, I just do it with the pinky, or I might mute this way. So it depends. I might use both at the same time. Okay. So that's like another little tip. And it's something that happens over time. You don't get it the first time. Okay. Next chord. Guess what? It's the same exact shape. You just go up one whole step. So now you're at the 7th fret, barring at the 7th fret, and you're going to do that same shape that you did doing the A minor 7th. You're going to do it again. And this is actually the 3 of the G major scale. So this is the 1, this is the 2, this is the 3. And these are the chords. It sounds muffled. Are you using an electric? Or maybe it sounds muted, not muffled. So the notes aren't ringing out. Sometimes we mix up terminology. Is it an electric or is it an acoustic? Now I'm gonna get into the details of how to play this, okay? Because there are some things in between that they're actually playing. Got it. It's an electric. So what the issue probably is. So since it's an electric, I don't know if it's a Strat like mine, but I'm gonna turn one of these knobs. This is a tone knob, okay? Meaning I have my tone all the way up, but I can turn this tone down too. And guess how it'll sound if I turn the tone knob up? It'll sound muffled. Watch this. probably have not your volume knob. There's a knob that is your volume knob, and there's another knob that is probably for your tone. Probably. If you only have one knob, then like there's something modifying the tone of your guitar somewhere. And maybe I'm wrong, but I don't know because I haven't seen it. But that's what I have on my guitar. All right. So now let's get down to, yeah. So yeah, turn it. It should get a little brighter, and you can just adjust it to however you want it to be. Okay. Okay. So now back to the G. This G chord right here. Myers, what's good, yo? What's good? So whenever you play this G major, you don't have to play it all the way like this. You can play a part of the chord. So these, you don't have to play all 6 strings. You can play 4 of the strings. Okay? And you can still mute these bottom. I'm using terminology wise. These are the bottom because it's how I'm looking at it. And you can use your thumb to kind of mute the strings that you don't want to play. But when you do this, you have more available to kind of color up the chords a little bit, okay? So you don't have much available when you're playing the full chord. So all you're doing is strumming at this point. But if you have this pinky available, well, now you can do some hammer-ons. And for this particular chord progression, you can hammer on at the 5th fret on the high E string. So the chord progression goes like, and I'll play the low E, but I'm gonna use it with my thumb. So see what I'm doing? So I can do this, or I can just, however you want to do it. Okay. But since the track, there's probably a separate bass player and then a guitar player. So if it's one guitar player, then yes, it may be necessary for them to play the full chord and do the, but you could just pluck it this way. Okay, so you're just hammering on at the 5th fret. And again, you're playing the same shape as the G major, but you're only playing the top 4 strings if you want to do that hammer on thing. So just consider this being the whole shape. So instead of playing this, and all this, you're gonna put your index finger 3rd fret on the high E and B string, middle fingers on the 4th fret, well, on the high E and B string on the 3rd fret, middle finger is on the G string on the 4th fret, and ring finger is on the 5th fret of your D string. You're still playing a G major this way, okay? It's just that you're not playing all these other, you're not playing that too. But this helps you to do the, so that's the first chord. Now we're going to go to the A minor, same thing. I'm sure you remember how to play it. But again, these bottom 2 strings, we're not going to play those. We're just going to play the top 4. And so you're literally only barring at the 5th fret right here. Okay? And you're going to do kind of the same thing, and you're going to hammer on because you got more fingers available now. All right? So you can, all right? Now don't play like in this 3 fret window. Don't play nothing right here. All right? That's not, for this particular chord, that's not going to work well sound wise. That's That don't really go well with that chord. But here, that goes pretty well. So you're hammering on at the 7th fret. So here's the chord progression. Okay. Now, if you want to play the whole one, play the full one. Now, you still have some fingers left and you can still go. So you have more fingers available than playing this major chord. But if you want to just do this, that works too. All right. And on the last minor chord, it's not gonna be the same exact, like the shape in general is the same. But as far as the hammer on, you're gonna hammer on if you would like, because in the track I don't hear like a hammer on type thing. I just hear like a regular, you know. In fact, it goes. Okay, so I don't even hear all that. All right, so just keep that in mind. All right, so I'm gonna play it full. All right, so let's talk about that part. You're literally chromatically walking up from the A minor 7th to the B minor 7th. All right, so the rhythm is. That's how you play it. So let me move on to this real quick so that you can. I just have to let you see it. All right. I'm gonna just play it in context just so you can see it. That's pretty much how you do it, okay? Now in the track, they're doing these other things because since it's a sample song, they're doing these other chops. You know, they're doing these other things because that's just how they chopped it up. So get my pick. So there, it's kind of off kilter. It's kind of like not in the key, you know, and this is not necessary. You don't have to like focus on this, but it's just a little bonus, a little extra thing. And I actually like it. Now, technically, yeah, you got 2-tone knobs. Yes. Yeah. The first one is for your volume and the other two are tone. I mean, based on what you're saying. Now, if you're someone who doesn't play like I was playing, because what I did was I was using my thumb, index finger, middle finger, and ring finger of my right hand, my picking hand, to kind of pick at my strings like this. And I pick at it so you don't hear the sweep. So I can use each of these fingers to actually, you know, pick at them at the same time. And if I want to do I can, but otherwise, plucking them and stopping them at the same time. And if you practice this with a metronome, it gets easier. And the key is just don't go too far. Keep it close. And Jaleesa, another thing is you may have a little switch too, like a little switch thing right here. And that is also going to give you some different tones. So if I switch mine, this switch is actually this pickup. And then when you switch them, it'll be different pickup combinations. So switching it here is this pickup, and it's called the neck pickup. So that's just the pickup that's closest to the neck. And here's the tone. So it's just slightly different. Which kind of sounds like the song a little bit. That's why I'm here to help. And if you practice it, similar to, yeah, and that's a decent tone. Okay, and what it does, this switch, it basically, these things right here, these little, I don't know how many of these you have, but these little things right here are called pickups. Now these pickups are wrapped with like copper wire around like a magnet. And what this does, it actually transmits the vibration of this string to the cord, to your amp, basically. So the magnet, the same type of deal is inside of a microphone. It's like some sort of a electronic magnet, and whatever vibrates close to it, it'll reproduce that sound, or it'll pick up that vibration, that frequency, and when it travels through a wire and connects to a speaker, you can hear it through the speaker. So the sound kind of travels through the wire. So this switch is selecting different pickups, and it's actually mixing different tones. So you have this tone, you have this tone, this one, this one, and this one. All right. So all of them are important, and they're used for different things, and I'll probably talk more about that like on another session. But yeah, I use all of them for different things. So yeah, just real quickly, the actual chord progression is I'm gonna play it, and I'm not really gonna explain what these notes are. I'm just saying that the sample, the way they treated the sample, it just kind of goes a little haywire. So that's what it does. It does this. Oh, my bad. It's not even in the key. So with the beat, it sounds like this. All right. It's almost like it was a mistake, and then they was like, you know what, I actually like it. So that's what that does. So yeah, I mean that's the song. And the more you play it with a metronome, play it with a loop, or play it with the song, like play with the actual song. Play with the actual song, and just at first it's going to be a little interesting, and try to do it the full length of the song. All right. So yeah, that's very important. You just gotta, the repetition. You can't get around that. But I like helping to get it to a place to where you practice correctly, but the practice is necessary. It's not advanced. It's not advanced. Just pay attention to the regular chords, just those three. That's it. Just focus on those and don't even worry about doing the whole. You can literally just do the. Okay, you're just barring those top 4 strings on the 5th fret. You barring them again. And if you want to do the that hammer on thing, that does take some practice. That part, that's what the song does. But if somebody is actually singing the song, just stick with. Nothing wrong with it. People will understand. They'll understand what's going on. Okay. Jaleesa, do you have any questions? Anybody else who's here? And it doesn't have to be on this topic. You know, it can be about whatever. It can be about whatever. But yeah, that's pretty much, that's how you play the song. Now, what I want to get to, and I will talk about this in a more thorough way, but I do want to add clarity to the whole number system thing. Some people, they ask about that. They ask about the number system and they hear it being talked about a lot, but they're just kind of like, what is that? You know? Now this is a very simple, it's probably one of the most simple ways to actually learn the guitar and music. I also advise that people learn music, but also learn the guitar, learn the instrument. Those are actually 2 separate things. I mentioned that quite a bit too. And sometimes it's like the fifth time I say it, people are like, oh, learn the instrument. When I already said it like 5 to 10 times. Anyhow, the number system. I can learn almost, yeah, for sure. Like whenever you can inbox me, it's whatever. The major chord or the major scale, you know, I do this a lot because repetition actually helps for things to stick. Okay. Repetition helps. And sometimes we neglect repetition. We neglect it. And I gave one analogy one time, and maybe this analogy will help. It's almost like if someone eats a banana, right? Because, you know, banana has potassium. And I'm probably not going to be on here that much more longer, but there are certain nutrients in a banana. Okay? And potassium is one of those things, you know, which I think provides like energy and stuff. But let's just say that you eat one banana. You eat one banana, your body benefits from that banana that day. Well, once that day is gone and once that banana passes through your system, your body no longer benefits from that banana. You need to eat another banana so that your body can keep benefiting from potassium. So routines and habits work the same way. And information works the same way. You got to keep taking in the information so that nutrients is to a person's body, okay, in terms of the body benefiting, that is the same as understanding is to your thinking. And that only comes by reading or watching the video or whatever, however you do it. But it's the same thing. So you can't, just because you read something one time and you understand it, it doesn't mean that you're gonna do it. You can read it and say, you know what? Oh yeah, I get it. I don't need to. I read stuff over and over, even if I understand it. I still put it in front of my face and read it over. Okay? And even though I know a major scale, it's still a part of my warm up exercise to this day. You know? It's easy to think that just because you've learned it, you don't have to learn it no more. No, your body will start to do otherwise if you don't keep practicing this thing. All right? No, I learn by ear. I learn by ear. You're not. You're developing your ear. So you can develop your ear. You can develop your what you observe, but just make the connections. Understand why the chords are what they are. Don't just play a shape. And once you learn the shape, cool. Learn the shape, lock it in, and you could always go back to it. But it's also important to know why that's the shape. Okay? Why is that a major chord? Why is that a minor seventh chord? Stuff like that. It's important to know. And then when you sit with another guitar player, I don't know what city you're in, Jaleesa. What city are you in? But yeah, it's just once you know these intervals, and I'll quickly go over these intervals because a lot of times I play the major scale. Okay, here it is. You put your finger here. Okay, here are the intervals. Okay, we're gonna use a W for the phrase whole step, and we can use H for half step, and I'll do another explanation with like illustrations. But whole steps and half steps is really like, it's almost like computers is zeros and ones. Well, with guitar, whole steps and half steps. So a major scale is whole step, half step. That's like the first little portion. Whole step, half step. That's like the other half, so to speak. So whole step, half step. Then the next time it's just 3 whole steps and a half step. Now, what does that look like? Here's the first note. Well, a whole step is when you skip a fret, okay? That's a whole step. If you go to that next fret, that's a half step. So here is a whole step. Here's another whole step. Here's a half step. Here's a whole step, whole step, whole step, half step. So it looks like this. That's a major scale. Whole step, half step. Whole step, half step. Now, once you like commit that into your thinking and understanding, and it's not hard to remember, you write that down somewhere, okay, and look at it a few times. It'll be there, but I still recommend you not like practice it, but you may not have to have the letters in front of you, but if you practice the scale, it'll be up there, okay? So those are the intervals of a major scale. Now assign numbers 1 to 7 to each note on the scale. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, back to 1. Okay, that's the number system. So here's the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, back to 1. Now, the next theoretical point is that major and minor chords are structured using the 1 of that scale, the 3 of that scale, and the 5 of that scale. Or 1, 2, 3. So you got to count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So the 1, 2, 3. There's one note. 4, 5. So all major chords consist of the 1, the 3, and the 5. Now when you get that 3, you can find that same 3 that's close to the root. Okay? In this case, it's right here, and that's why that is a major chord. And when you just take it further to the 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Well, where's this 5? It's right here. But you can play this 5 on another string too. That's why it's a major chord. It's not just this is the shape. There's an explanation for it. And the first time you hear that, you're going to be like, wah, 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 like the Charlie Brown teacher. Then after a while, it's going to be like, oh, yes. Okay? So just keep that in mind. That is why that's a major chord. It's not just, let's play a major chord shape. There's a reason that it's that shape. It's the same on piano. Okay? That's the major chord, major chord, major chord. They're all over the place. But if you know how to like keep whole step, half step, whole step, half step. And if you look at it, it makes sense. It makes more sense. But it's just like, if you divide it into whole step, half step, lock that in, almost like a phone number, because it's 7 of them. 2 W's, 1 H, 3 W's, 1 H. Real simple. So yeah, whole step. It's the only thing is when playing the scale, you can play it on one string, or you can play it on different strings. Okay, that's all it is. So now I could say I'm playing the 1, which is the major chord. I just went over how to actually locate that. I just showed you how to do it, even though it does take practice, but you have more of a sense of like why that's the shape. Okay. Here's the minor, the 2 is playing from the 2. 1, 2. And I'm not going to go into why, these are different intervals coming from the minor chord, so I don't want to take it further, but it sounds more like this. So this is not a minor. This A minor is not being played using a major scale in the same way. It's played from a different part. Jaleesa Scott, you need to tell me what part of the country you're in, or what part of the world you're in. So yeah, it works a little bit differently. And then, but to put it quickly, the 2 is literally just starting at the 2 and ending with the 2. So if I go back to the major scale position, well, I can stay in that position, still play the major scale, but start from the second note, play the same intervals. I played the same exact intervals, but just starting and ending on the next note, not the first note. And that actually forms the minor, the second degree. That third degree, the same thing happens. Well, if I go to the 3, same thing happens. That forms this chord. Okay, so on and so forth. I'll do a separate lesson about that. It is very, if you're learning guitar, don't be intimidated by this. Please don't. And if it means we got to drill it 4 or 5 times in order for you to get it, that's just what it'll have to be. Don't be intimidated by that. At first, it's going to be like, what is that? Then after that, it's like, oh. Also, Tayana Taylor, the notes that she's singing on this song, all of it is in this major scale. All of these notes are in the major scale. So she's not deviating. She's using the doggone major scale. You know what I'm saying? So I'm here to show you, if you're willing to, listen and not only just, want to learn shapes, let's do that, but let's also spend time understanding a little bit of the vocabulary, and then we can actually know why we're doing what we're doing, and then we can go back and have fun and do the oh. All right. So yeah, that's pretty much that. But if no one has any questions, I'll definitely see you the next time. I'll probably be on Thursday or Friday. I got feedback saying that Friday was a good day. Friday to me is like a day that people go out, but maybe people don't go out on Friday. And but yeah, I figured that Friday was a day that people go out and stuff like that. So that's not a good day. And then for sure on Saturday. So right now I think I'm pretty cool on a couple of these days, which is Tuesday and Saturday, but I'm just trying to find a day in between. So cool, Jaleesa. That's what's up. Thanks for engaging in the comments. Anybody else? I know some of y'all had to be out, but yeah, if anybody else, if you got any questions, hit me up. Jaleesa, you can hit me up on let me see. Yeah, but the way that I learned guitar was by ear, okay? And the way this looked was me having a piano or a keyboard next to me, and over hitting one note on the keyboard, and over just trying to find it. And I just didn't give up. I just kept messing up and kept trying again, kept messing up, kept trying again, kept messing up. I would hit a note on the, let me show you. This is probably the last thing I'll show, but this is actually important. Okay. So now today I know that this is a C sharp, but I would go boom, boom, boom. Oh, that sounds alike. Oh, yeah. I did that for multiple notes. And that's how I learned. Okay. And some of you know, I guess those of you who are kind of new to coming on, I mainly learned guitar through recording guitar. That's really the way that worked for me. It was it was helpful because this is how I measured my progress. I would play something back. I could see how accurate something was. I could see whether or not it was on beat, whether or not my rhythm was good. And over time, it got better. And then I wanted to play more, like play longer phrases. And I could play like the chord progression, like what you all saw. But it initially started just recording something like this. Record. And then play it back. Bang! I'm just hearing it ring out. And then, didn't like that. Let me erase it. Okay. Or whatever. And then record that. 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, I kind of like that. Cool. Let me sample that. And then I would sample it to a key. Then I would just play another chord that I'm pulling from a book or a video. Do the same thing. And then I would basically play samples. Okay. So I would play sample chords that I would play, assign it to a key, and record it. So on and so forth. I got tired of doing that, and I wanted to play it for real, you know. And then I would just do it one time, record that, and loop that, which was a longer phrase. Then I wanted to do the full song or a full verse. Then I did that and looped that. Then I wanted to do a full song, and then that's how I became better able to, you know, play full songs and stuff like that. So that's not everybody's thing, but when it comes to my teaching style, it is something that I use. It's something that I encourage. And we all got one of these. We all have a phone, and we can pull up the sound recorder and we can record our progress, you know. So it's just, you know, it's something that I, you know, say, hey. But yeah, before I get off, I definitely want to mention there is, I'm building a community that is in progress. All right. I will continue to do these lives, but they will be cut short at some point. And the remainder will be in the community portal. Just let you know. But I'm doing this to get acquainted and everything. So, but I'll be doing these until that is completed, and fully built. So, I got a few more things to do. I don't have no links to share with you. You know what I'm saying? I'm just letting you know that I'm building that. All right. So, if all hearts and minds are clear, I see 3 people are on. Actually, one of those people is me. Because if nobody was on, at least I'm on, and I can engage with myself. So, you know, and plus I'm doing it for practice, because I have to practice speaking and stuff like that. I do offer virtual lessons. I did it for over 20 years and got a little, not burned out. It's just, I have to reach more people at one time. So that's also a part of my community. The virtual lessons is a part of my community. So, you know, for people who need it, I'll do the one-on-ones, you know, based on that tier. But primarily, I'm going to engage with my community, you know, people who I know are like locked in and locked into the process. And yeah, people within that community, you know, we can discuss, or, you know, how that looks, you know, and yeah. So that's where I'll be offering that. Now, just the what is this? This is the business part. This is the business part. I've learned, which I'm a degree graphic designer, as well as a minor in architecture. And I've learned over the years that when people don't pay, they don't pay attention. It's the truth. And the lower that people pay, they pay even less attention. The more people pay, they pay more attention, because they are committed. You know, it's like a commitment. They like, hey, I paid this money. I'm gonna, you know. So I'm definitely not gonna price it high. I'm just telling you what I've observed. So anytime I put a price on something, I'm actually helping the person. And when I do it free, I can almost guarantee you that person will probably forget what I showed them. But when people pay, they remember. They get the transformation. That's just the way of the world. That's the way it is. And people are appreciative when I share free stuff. And I'm always going to share free stuff. I'm always going to do that, because, you know, that's the nature of business. You got to do that part. So yes, I do offer virtual lessons, but it is through my community. I'm just kind of taking a couple of weeks to put it together. I got some videos I've already recorded. I have a course that I've been selling, but I'm taking those, I'm putting it in my community section, so that the course material is available, as well as the virtual meetings are available. And these will be group sessions, but also individual interaction as well, okay, within a group session, because sometimes the individual interaction helps other people. So it's just, it's what I found to work. You know, some people don't like to be put on the spot, but I found that when you're in a group and there are two people engaging in the lesson, everybody else learns from it. It's more effective. And then when it's just the two people, it works, but just more happens. And it's not to say that I don't do one-on-ones. I do them. I just do it in a different way. And it's my responsibility to set it up in a way to where the transformation happens. So to fully answer your question, if I only do virtual lessons in terms of one-on-ones, that may not be to the advantage of the learner all the time. And sometimes it is. But the whole point of a community is that when you're next to someone, or if you're all on a Zoom call, just for example, and we're sharing, and I'm kind of doing something similar to what you're seeing here, but I have some other tools that can, you can engage and interact, and people come back, there's more accountability. There's more like, yeah, this is what I worked on. And a lot of times when it's one-on-one, it's a lot of lackadaisical stuff happening, And I'm not saying that's everybody, but I've been doing it for a long time. And I've designed a lot of logos. I've charged $50 for a logo, and I've charged $500 for a logo. And guess who gave me the hardest time? The person that paid $50. The person that paid me $500 was like, this is what I want. I trust you. My hands are off. And when I did it, they were happy. And other people that I know who charge $1,000 for, so on and so forth. It's easier. They know what they want. They're ready. It's just what it is. But for those of you who are listening, wondering if I do virtual lessons or do I do individual lessons, I'm packaging that a certain way, and it is through the community that I'm offering. And it's just, I have to incentivize it for me as well as for you. And that's what I'm offering. That's what I'm offering. So, but you'll see some links, and some of y'all, you'll see in my TikTok, I'll have that link up there. And, when it's ready, it might be a week or two before I got to at least have like 20 modules in there, and then I'll build it up back to 100, 1,000, whatever. All right. So, but for Jaleesa Scott, since you asked though, hit me up in the DM on TikTok or wherever, however you decide to do it, and we can discuss it further, and you can just don't be afraid to ask me stuff, because sometimes I'm like, hey, let's just meet on Zoom real quick, and then I can understand where you are in your learning process, and we can better, do what's necessary. So if you're still on, I hope you heard it. But I'm going to go ahead and get off. It's midnight. It's midnight. And I appreciate, for those of you who are on and it's about midnight, thank you. Thank you. So hope you benefited from it. And I will see you all later. Hit me up in the DM for suggestions. And this video is a result of someone sending me this in the DM saying, hey, I want to learn this. And that's why I'm doing this video. So, free of charge. All right. So technically this is a virtual lesson. Well, all right, y'all. I love y'all. God loves you. And have a good night. Be productive. make sure you're a blessing to somebody else. And I ain't got nothing to say. I think I'm done. Peace.